Hi there, it's Lisa from LisaMW.com. Welcome back to my channel. Excuse the hair. When you have, as Frida from Peanuts would say, naturally curly hair, it sort of does what it wants. And it's a week before haircut time, so forgive me for the bizarro hair today. Today I want to talk a little bit about trust and its intersection with the full use of your intuitive knowing. Some of you might have heard that I grew up with a mom who had this beautiful intuitive knowing. And when mom said this was happening, always, always, always. And so I grew to really trust her in that knowing. She was almost never wrong, which was a horrible thing to grow up with, I'll tell you that. Anyway, so for me, the connection was very clear. If I got a knowing or a feeling or something came into my head, I trusted that. I always have. And I thought everybody else did too. Guess what? No, they don't. In fact, most people don't. Because you want to write it off as coincidence or just a fluke of something. No, it's not. It's not. You are able to take in information in about 12 gazillion ways, right? You can feel it, you can hear it, you can smell it, you can smell different things. You know, there are like a million ways you can take information in and receive it. And it really depends on what you do, what your particular thing is, right? And so mine is, I just kind of know stuff. And I also hear, which is known as clairaudience. And I used to hear actual phrases. Now it's sort of a weird puff of information, and I just go, okay, and then I open my mouth and it comes out. So the key to that is that when you receive that information, whatever that is, just play and trust it a little bit. Like, if this were true, if I knew for a fact that this was true, what would I do? What action would I take now? Right? And so I'll give you a quick example. Even when the information sounds completely out of left field, you have to be willing to trust it, okay? So some of you may know that I have worked with Prince when he went over to the other side, and he had asked me to go to Paisley Park and bring him through there. And I said, dude, honey, you are going to have to arrange that because I don't know anybody. I don't know any of that. And so he's like, okay. So I said, just, give me a name or give me somebody. So I was laying in bed, and I could almost kind of see this like little fishing wire come down with a note attached, and it had a name on it. And I looked at the name and I didn't recognize it. And I said, who is this? And Prince said, why don't you Google him? Because Prince can be very snarky from the other side. So I did. And I found out that this person, the wonderful Michael Dean, has a Prince podcast. And he's had it for many, 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 many years. So I was like, what am I supposed to do? Just write him and go, hi, I talked to dead Prince. And he gave me your name. And Prince is like, yeah. And so it took me about 4 or 5 days to do that, right? And I did. I wrote him and I said, pretty much, I talked to dead Prince. And he said this. And so would you be willing to have a conversation with me? Nothing. And so a week went by and I was like, dude, he thinks I'm insane. And Prince is like, well, just write him and say thanks for reading or whatever. Okay. So I wrote him again. And this time he answered. And he's like, how did my name get into the mix? And I was like, Prince gave it to me. I have no idea who you were. And so we had a lovely conversation. He invited me to be on his podcast, which I did not expect. I really was going into it with the intention of maybe he can give me the name of somebody he knows and I can contact that person to see what's possible. Who knows? And he ended up having me on his podcast where a lot of people heard. And a lot of people, a beautiful community, showed up to say, yeah, we talked to Prince too. And so that's the thing, is that even if you're afraid or you're going to think you're going to look stupid, take the chance, because here's what I know to be true. My experience is that when you receive guidance from your higher self, from the guide team, from Prince, whoever, nothing really happens with it unless you do something, right? You have to bring it down out of here into the real world. But if you don't trust here, you're never going to bring it down. Right? And then nothing changes. And then what's the point? What is the point? So you need to practice. Well, you don't need to. You can. You can choose to practice. Okay? Trusting that inner knowing. And I really want to encourage you to trust it when you're not in a high pressure situation. Okay? So, you know, when it's the phone rings, like those little bitty things, when the phone rings, who that could be? Okay. Okay, universe. Okay, higher self. Who could that be? Right? So practice in the small moments. Okay, I hear this knowing. Okay, what am I going to do with that? Right? I got this knowing that this project would be better than that project. But everyone says, no, let's go do this project. Okay, universe, how do I maybe make a case for this other project? You don't have to tell people, ooh, I got these vibes. You don't have to do that. You can just say, my gut feeling, because most people, men, can get that. They hear that. If you say, like, I have an intuitive knowing, or my spirit guide said, blah, 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 men, right? So to say, be willing to step out and say, here's my sense about this, or I'm getting a gut feeling that this one might be better. Can we take a look at it? Yeah, it's going to require you to step out. It's going to require you to get noticed. That may not be a thing you want to do, but you can try it and see. Because even if they shoot you down, so go with it. Just play. And that's the other piece I want to share with everybody. It's not so serious and life-changing. Play with it. Play with it. If I knew exactly what was going to happen out of this situation, and my feeling is this, would I step into it? Would I go? Again, let me go back to my Prince thing. I really only was thinking here, right? Give me a name, and then I can contact that person, and then maybe I can go to Paisley Park and do whatever it is Prince wants me to do there. Prince had a whole different idea about what could come of this. And the more risk that you take, or the greater the fear that it brings up in you, sometimes, most times, the greater the reward, the greater the potential for that. So I remember when I first told people outside my little circle that I worked with Prince on the other side, and I was terrified. Oh my God, you guys, I really was terrified, because I thought, what if they think I'm crazy? And is that a thing I can control? No, nope. So what I'm trying to say to you is trust plays a very important part in learning to work with your intuitive knowing. So the more you are open to receive guidance from your higher self first, from your guides and teachers, the more that you bring it down and act on it, the more the potential and the possibilities open up. But if you're stuck here, right, oh, that doesn't make sense. Why would Prince give me the name of this guy? I don't even know who this guy is. I'm not going to contact him. Would I have gotten something else if that was the way to get me to where I was going? Probably. But in that moment, I chose to look like a goofball and say, hi, dude, dead Prince gave me your name. That takes balls. I'll tell you what, it does. And I did it. And a year and a half later, the most amazing things have come from it. And it's been just beautiful. So be willing to really kind of take it from here where the judgment is. So here's where you get it from. Here's where judgment jacks you up. Bypass the judgment and let it come through. Don't judge it. Or you can judge it, still act on it, okay? And then see what comes from it. That's the big test, right? Is that when you take it from here to here, that's when things change. Okay, that's my wisdom for today. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you next time. Bye for now.